What's good, guys? It's your host, Damon from Forever Reggae TV. We're here at the press conference for the West Indian American Day Carnival Association. Stay tuned so you can see the press conference.
Good evening. On behalf of the West Indian American Day Carnival Association, I'd like to welcome you to this evening's press conference. I'd also like to thank our sponsors, Western Union, Rum Bar, Dragon Stout, Caribbean Fruit Punch, Colette Burnett from Super Wings, New York, a local caterer here in Brooklyn, Trevor Smith from Tower Island Patties, Andrea Bullens from Bullseye Marketing, and Grace Cruz for providing the refreshments. And finally, Rudder Finn for graciously providing the space on short notice. Thank you all. Participating in today's discussion will be the president of the organization, Yolanda Lizama Clark, Lexi Brooks on behalf of the Yele Foundation, as well as performing artist Theophilus London. We will begin with a brief statement from Executive Director Brandon Newell, followed by statements from President Lizama Clark and Lexi Brooks. We'll then open up the discussion for Q&A, which will be moderated by Anthony. And now, the Executive Director of the West Indian American Day Carnival Association, Ms. Brandon Newell.
Good evening. So, we're so happy to be able to be here this evening and really proud to be able to present our 2010 program. We have a lot of exciting things that I think you're going to enjoy. And we hope that you also come and participate behind the museum. We have a number of events that we do, pre-Labor Day concerts, and a few exciting ones that you'll hear about a little later. And we're happy to be able to have you a part of it. We'd like to get the word out there that, I don't know if you know, but we are number 3 out of 100 things to do in the city of New York. Ms. Bash calls us number 3. First is Macy's, second is New Year's Eve at Times Square, and third is the Labor Day Parade. And so in your packets, you will see Ms. Bash's outline, along with a number of other things that we've included to be able to give you some idea and some concept of who we are as an event, and also as an acknowledge 2 of our board members that are here, very special people that we would not be able to work all these many years without. And the first is Hyacinth Williams. Hyacinth, stand up. And the second is our board secretary, who actually manages to travel everywhere that we go and is such an inspiration. And a long-term member, her husband previously was a member. This is generations of support. And so, June, would you please stand up and let us know? And then the third person I'd like to introduce to some of you, present to others, is our president. She has taken over after her father. Carlos Lizama started this. He started it in 1967. It started with 1 little block. We are now up to 19. I'd like to introduce to you and to present to others, Yolanda Lizama Clark.
Thank you for that. A wonderful introduction, Friday. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Before I begin, I always like to acknowledge our royalty in our Caribbean community. And that person is none other than Honorable Una Clark. So, as Briding mentioned, I happen to have been trained and didn't know that I was in training all those years. It was Yolanda, go for this and go for that. And so it happened that a few years back when my dad retired, the board nominated me as president, and I have been very thankful for that experience. So with that, I would like to first give you a little bit of history about our organization. And so in a humble way, the carnival began as a result of the longings and desires of a few early immigrants from the island. And reflecting back on our archives, I would tell you that at some point in the timeline when the carnival migrated from Harlem into Brooklyn, the event had occupied a few blocks along Atlantic Avenue, which then culminated into the Armory on Dean Street at Washington Avenue. If you know Brooklyn, you should know where I'm speaking about. We had at that time no more than about 5 mass bands with 1 or 2 small music and steel bands. And we have since grown today to over 35 masquerade bands with thousands of participants. We all are also proud of the participating steel bands that consist of 90% youth. The carnival has steadily grown from a few thousand spectators to over 2 million. Include Thursday evening's Haiti We Love You concert, which will feature Wyclef Jean, David Rudder, Serani, Kevon Lyttle, Carimi, Pupa Leendi, Super P, Bruck Up, and Mental. That is just to name a few. And Friday's Brass Fest features Marshall Montano HD, Patrice Roberts, JW and Blaze, Destra, Edwin Yearwood, Farmer Nappy, Denise Belfont, Tallfree, and Lyrical. After the Junior Carnival on Saturday, the evening features New York's Steel Band Panorama Concert. And the Sunday evening Demonstration program highlights kings and queens of the bands and entertains us with David Rudder, Black Stalin, Denise Belfont, Ricky Jai, Aaron Duncan, and Ajala. The overall theme for this year's carnival is Bridging Cultures, which reflects our continued commitment in fostering community empowerment, social awareness, and cultural continuity. The Grand Marshals include Yele, Commissioner Spiegel of the Parks Department, Claire Nelson of the Institute of Caribbean Studies in Washington, Mr. Danny Glover, and our Assemblyman Nick Perry. This year's route has been altered to kick off promptly at 12 noon with the ribbon cutting ceremony, which will begin from Schenectady Avenue and Eastern Parkway. And we do promise another beautiful cultural display for 2010. Thank you.